On that note, though, that is the checkpoint, and we're gonna roll straight through and give it to Fee for the batch notes.
Hello. Well, I'm only going to be doing one portion in this particular section here, but we're saying goodbye to a really close friend to a lot of us, and by close friend I mean the person who was the director of Overwatch. Jeff Kaplan actually left on Tuesday this week. Kaplan left us shocked as he announced that he was leaving his role as director of Overwatch, but not only that, but Blizzard entirely. The 19-year Blizzard veteran announced on Tuesday this week that he'll be leaving Blizzard Entertainment, leaving fans of Overwatch series solemn with his positive parting words of optimism of the future. With Overwatch 2 just around the corner, this change was not expected and has left a lot of us concerned for the game's sequel. Though Aaron Keller, who is 18-year Blizzard senior, who is replacing Kaplan, reassures us that Overwatch 2 development is continuing and is in a good place. He has worked closely with Kaplan. He's worked closely with Kaplan in the past, and actually worked on the Overwatch team before Kaplan left. So, yeah, this is crazy. Wouldn't have expected it because he seemed really excited for Overwatch 2 last year, and now
I kind of I don't know. I kind of see it. I didn't see it coming, but at some point I feel like he was gonna leave because I thought it was gonna be after Overwatch 2 came out. He's like, all right, I'm done. The game is out. That's all we need to do. Right? I'm done. I want to do something else. Because he has been doing Blizzard stuff for a long time. It's not even Overwatch 2. He was part of the World of Warcraft thing too, as well. Mm. Right? So he's been in that company for a long time. I can't even imagine working at a place for 19 years.
Yeah. He was probably 1 foot out the door, and Overwatch 2 seems like it's taking longer than it probably should. Yeah. So he probably was just I kind of got the baseline done. Let's go ahead and work on what I want to work on.
The question I have is do you guys think it's kind of like a Beyond Good and Evil game that still we know nothing about really, where the creative director left and he's like, yeah, it's in good hands. They're doing what they want to do, but I'm going to do my own thing. Is that what you guys think that's
didn't that guy happen? Well, didn't that guy leave under bad preterms in terms of allegation stuff?
No, he left because he wanted to do conservative.
I thought it was because he had allegations and he left ahead of time.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'll look that up. I'll look that real fast.
Look it up right now.
I think the circumstance is different, but at the same time, it's almost like saying hey, what if Donald Mustard from Fortnite decided to leave or something like that?
Who's Donald Mustard?
He runs Fortnite at Epic.
Yeah, he's one of the tops of Epic. Yeah. So Frank is still putting up. I would thought he would put this down by now, but he's still going.
I'm rotating out the pictures every now and again too.
Okay.
No,
okay.
I think it was probably as shocking as it was for all of us. At the same time, it kind of makes sense. Because you don't want to be the director and then release a brand new game so big as Overwatch 2 and then be peace out. Because that will then make stockholders be okay, you just released a game, why are you leaving? Is there problems with it? Why, is this due to lack of confidence? So I think this might have been probably the best option because I think there was some news that it wasn't going to be released until at least 2022 at this point. Overwatch 2, at least. So it makes sense to kind of switch directors at this time, though I will admit it is a little bit concerning because they are switching it up. But Jeff seemed relatively as obviously as professional as you can be when you're leaving a job that you've worked for 19 years, and even left a the ending of his message was asking the players to keep to take care of Overwatch. And to continue to play and enjoy the game in the series.
Where did Rod Ferguson go? He went Diablo. Never mind. Sorry. He went to, not Rod Ferguson. Who's the guy that...
he's at Epic, isn't he?
Oh, no, I thought he went to Diablo.
He's at Black Tusk from Gears of War.
No, he left Gears of War.
He came back.
Coalition. Oh, he came back.
Yeah, pretty positive. Anyways, I did find the Michael Ansel. He had accusations of toxic management, and then he left the company. So those happened at the same time. But I'll look up Rod Ferguson for you.
Sly, I know you don't play Overwatch. Did you delve into like any kind of World of Warcraft kind of type thing either, or is that just
Blizzard.
like a blind part
I've
for you?
not really been involved with anything Blizzard.
Yeah.
Not my vibe.
No. But honestly, Blizzard isn't the only thing that I've really like got deep into Blizzard was Warcraft 2. Like that was it. And other than that, like I didn't play Overwatch till this year. World of Warcraft I didn't play till like last year, I think, for the first time, like that kind of type thing. So it's huge, it's massive that that he's leaving. But honestly, I think they just announced Overwatch 2 way too quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah,
way too quickly.
Too many years. I think that people were just running stale, honestly, of Overwatch specifically. So they needed something to propel the reason why you'd want to keep going. And the fact that a lot of the stuff that you play in Overwatch 1 will pretty much carry over, supposedly, in 2. So that's probably the idea behind why they did that. And it's crazy because it was playable, like a year and a half ago? If I'm not 2 years ago, I should say, during BlizzCon at some point. So it is interesting. I'm curious as to what is taking so long specifically. Obviously, COVID definitely wrecked a bunch of crap. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, hey, 19, like you said, 19 years is nothing to scratch at. It's a lot of work to do. To be honest, he probably has some aspirations. I think it's great when people who are established and well known for something and then they move on to something else. Like I know that this is not a perfect example, but the people that worked on Infinity Ward for the Modern Warfare games, when they were fired or left Infinity Ward, they went on to do Respawn and Titanfall and ended up doing this whole new thing. So hey, who knows what he's going to end up be working on specifically? We'll
that
see.
reminds me.
And
that reminds me of the people that made Dead Space.
Exactly.
And then now they're making Calypso, I think it's called, right? Or something like that.
Calypso Protocol or something like that?
Yeah, Calypso Protocol, yeah.
Yeah, and Rod Ferguson is
you
at...
are no source detected at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. And Rod Ferguson is now working on Diablo 4.
Okay, he is, right?
After 1 year. Yeah, so he just left Coalition.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. You know, it's back.
I know. I did it for a reason. Continue.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We gotta get you a Be Right Back screen.
We gotta get the tugboat.
Yeah.
All right, Frank, talk your stuff because you can't be holding that candle on forever.
I'm gonna miss Jeff Kaplan. He look. There's not a lot
Not
of
dead.
No. I mean, listen. If you've ever had to pray to him for a loot box, you understand what I'm doing right now.
True.
You have to pray for legendaries, for them good skins.
Sly, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know why. Like I just started this like a month ago. I just open up loot boxes and just hope for the best at this point.
No, he definitely brought a lot something different to just to like the way devs talk to their fans. I don't know what's going on. Is someone at your
Is that
door?
Mario? What was that?
Is someone trying to come out of the fucking wardrobe? What is that?
That was just Jeff Kaplan letting you know to wrap it up. No, I'm just kidding.
It's Jeff Kaplan. It's Jeff Kaplan's ghost. No, he brought a cool energy to just to all his kind of like dev talks and all that, and he was very transparent to the community, and that's something you don't see. You don't see a lot of transparency between devs and the community itself, and it came at a time when a lot of devs weren't doing that. They're starting to do it more now, but you can give Overwatch shit for being very derivative of other games. You can give Overwatch shit for having a very slow start, but you can't give them shit for the amount of like care Jeff Kaplan and his team brought to the community in terms of transparency, in terms of telling the fans what exactly the direction of the game was. And all that. He was just kind of a really cool guy to watch and listen to.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think one of my lights turned off, actually. I'm more blue all of a sudden, so I'm wondering.
Jeff probably because Jeff Kaplan cursed you.
Jeff Kaplan said, "You're blessed with millions of legendaries."
Yeah.
No, more like a lot of commons.
Yeah, a lot of comments. a lot of commons and what's the second one? Rares or uncommons?
Or
Does it go
uncommons.
commons into uncommon?
I think it goes commons, rare, legendary, or ultra rare, and then legendary.
No, it's epic and then legendary.
Epic.
Epic, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
That's why.
uncommon is green in Blizzard terms.
Yeah, I only know that because of Fortnite. But on the next note, let's go to the next story. Frank, are you taking this one over?
I am.
Let's
So
get
our
it.
second article this week comes from IGN. Days Gone director says if you love a game, buy it at full price by Adam Bankhurst. So guys, Days Gone is somehow still in the news after a backlash from fans after Sony canceled the sequel and greenlit a Last of Us remake remaster instead. After asking the creative director John Gavin if adding the game for free to the PlayStation Collection on PS5 added any engagement to the title, Gavin responded with, "If you love a game, buy it at full fucking price. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got that on sale. I got it through PlayStation Plus, whatever." He goes on to say, "I'm just saying, if you don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if it wasn't supported at launch." So what do we think, guys? Do we think Gavin is correct in this thinking? Are we kind of somewhere in the middle, or is he just kind of playing out of pocket with this one? This also kind of goes back to my discussion of like devs and talking to their community. It seems like there's a very good riff there. But Sly, I see you have something to say. Go ahead.
Before I say anything, I just have to disclaimer, I do have a family member who works at Sony Bend. So take everything I say with a grain of thought, obviously. But like I'm not gonna tone police and say like you shouldn't have said it like that. Like that's what he feels, talk your shit, whatever. But this brings up a really great point about how games are treated by companies and what is important to them in measuring success. And obviously, game companies and, people who are putting money into these games really care about initial, right out the gate performance. And if games aren't supported right away, there's a significantly less chance of them getting follow-ups, additional content, sequels, etc. And that's just how it seems like the industry works right now. So I think he has a pretty fucking valid point saying, hey, like this is how it works. If studios don't see that the game is supported initially, they're gonna scrap any, plans for future stuff. And so like it doesn't matter if you're getting the game for free or getting it on sale or whatever, that's not gonna help us out. Like, it really depends on that initial launch. And honestly, I think that's more of a studio problem than a consumer problem. Like, I mean, I hardly ever buy games in the first weekend it releases. So I'm a broke college student. I feel like feasibly I cannot do that.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only recent game I've bought, I've even pre-ordered, was the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. Like that's the only game I've bought like first weekend recently, because I financially not. But it's a really fucking valid point to say studios only really care about how initial performance does. They put a huge weight on critic reception. Like these are the increments they're looking at for those benchmarks of success. And like Days Gone did pretty good in the community sense. Like a lot of people really enjoyed that game and had a lot of great things to say about it, but critically didn't do too hot, didn't do great sales at the initial launch. So, Sony says we're not going to support it. And I can understand if you like really love this game and have put so much time and work into creating this like universe and want to do more in it, that'd be really frustrating.
Yeah. And we can't forget too, you mentioned some of the issues that Days Gone had. We can't forget that Days Gone also had in terms of the amount of glitches, the amount of just kind of weird. At this point now, everybody's launch is like this type of thing, and we'll get back to that later. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of definite like I understand one side, and I definitely understand.
Yeah. Saying Days Gone's a perfect game by any means, but you can't You can't
No.
buy something or get something for free and then complain that it's not getting a sequel to the people who want to give you a sequel.
Game is
Like-
perfect, and I agree with you, Sly. I 100% agree with you when it comes to that, because like a lot of people's stuff is measured in the first like month that the game is out, right? But Mario, what do you think? What do you think about this?
I do have a lot to say because I semi got involved with the interviewer of this story.
Oh yes, I remember this.
But I'll say right now.
Oh, that's right.
I'll say right now. His phrasing may be not, what he meant to say, but I have a total disagreement if his phrasing. If you love a game, buy it at full fucking price. Well, how the fuck do I know if I love this game if I'm going to spend the money on it? Not to mention the fact that your game, when it came out, seemed very derivative of another popular series that is very similar. I digress from that. Shoot your shit, say what you gotta say. That is fine, okay? But at the same time, if I don't know I love your game and I'm not going to spend the $60, I don't think I should definitely be yelled at for getting it on PS Plus, because supposedly some of that cost is also going back to you because of PS Plus. So if you're not getting a sequel, shit happens. That's fine. He left his company because he was fired for being not that great of a person. So for him to come out and start talking shit, specifically on a specific person's YouTube channel, who honestly was riling up this story and causing trouble with another person that I don't necessarily like. Hi, Jason. How you doing? Yeah, I just find some of the things said were just kind of shit. But at the same time, I totally understand when it comes to a game that I do care about, and I don't put my money down where I say, like, if the next Spider-Man game doesn't do well because I decided I couldn't do it. I get that. But at the same time, you're right. Sometimes we just don't have the money right up front. It's $70. You're raising the price of these games now. So it's just like there's a lot to unpack here that is, shit on all sides. But at the same time, games are games. Games are going to be made. I think without the individual choice, and I think the choice is on you specifically as the consumer. I think it's on the people deciding these things, like Sony. Like, you know what? Critical reception, not that great. Consumer reception, actually very positive. Very people actually enjoy this game. I remember when I wrote a tweet about how, like, after I read this or whatever, I was like, I'm not going to play the game anymore, even if I got it for free. Or I actually ended up paying for it. I bought it a discount a couple months ago, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to reinstall it just to get back in the conversation. This came out, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. So many people were like, hey, Mario, no, give it a chance. It's really good. They really, really enjoy it. And, I'm glad that those people are out there. But again, if it's not for me, it's just not for me.
Just want to clarify, I am by no means supporting him. What was said in that interview?
No, for sure,
I
for
think
sure.
the interview was not good. The way he phrased things was not good. But I get the sentiment, and that's all I'm defending.
I'll definitely touch on that.
No,
I'm
I
not gonna go to bat for him.
no, I
1000%.
loved everything that you said because I actually agreed with how you presented it, not how he did.
Frank, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, so I mean, I try to look at all these kind of situations in lights, right? And I definitely see where he's coming from as this is his baby, and to see it not get a sequel, to see people play it for free, to see, like, I could see where he's maybe coming from, where, like, yeah, as like someone who, like, as someone who creates that stuff, it can have a little bit of assault, to it. However, I want to say that I don't agree with, if you enjoy a game to buy, like, if you love a game, buy it at launch. The thing about buying games at launch right now is a lot of the games that are coming out are not, what's the word for it? They're not ready for launch. There's going to be a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of glitches. There's a lot of it's a mess. Yeah, and to expect somebody to pay $70 to beta test your game for you is out fucking outrageous. If I'm paying $70 for a game, I want that game to be a seamless experience, right? And if you can't deliver a seamless experience, then I will wait until your game is a seamless experience. And if, unfortunately, your game is now $4, 70 by the time that happens, that's on you as a developer. I'm sorry to say. I understand there's business on the back end that may force you to release a game that is not ready. I understand there's time constraints. I understand all that stuff. But at the end of the day, if that's what you are shipping out and representing your company with, I'm sorry that you've made your own bet at that point.
Yep.
On a side note, I didn't really like Days Gone. I mean, personally, I didn't really care if it got a sequel or not. It felt like it wanted to be a game that wanted to be everything. It wanted to be like a Last of Us type game. It wanted to be open world. It wanted to have zombies. It wanted to have combat. It wanted to have this and that, and it did none of those well.
So you're saying it's like a jack of all trades, not master of none kind of type
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, and plus the game is too long. Like, I hate to say that, but like that game has like 5 different parts where you're like, okay, I guess we're getting to the end, and then it like goes on for another like 12 hours, and I'm like, dude, this story is way too overblown at this point. Like, you destroy like 5 communities by the end of the game. It's like you've traveled all around Oregon at that point. It's like, come on, all right, we could save a little bit of this for a sequel.
I will just to chime in just for a second. I think Sony Bend's great. I actually really liked their Vita games that they've produced, and I'm excited to see what the next project they work on. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
But don't keep going, Frank.
Yeah, but like I do understand in a way, even though he's a little out of pocket for the way he said it. I do understand maybe the sentiment of somebody who is building something for everybody to enjoy, and then those people then either shitting on it, B, all of a sudden, and I've had this same feeling with Titanfall. Because all of a sudden, everybody's a Titanfall fan, but nobody was a Titanfall fan when Titanfall 2 needed there to be fans, right?
I don't know if that's fair, though, because
that is 100% fair.
Because that launched right next to a Battlefield game for no fucking reason. But
everybody who liked Titanfall bought the game.
Yeah, but still,
did they not?
If there was a chance to have them separate, maybe there would have been like, apples and oranges.
It's a bad time.
They're just a really weak time to release 2 games that's so close together like that. Next to Call of Duty, which was literally a month later. But
what I'm saying is I do understand the sentiment from that guy who was just like, we built this game. People liked it at the time. We had reviews. We had, differing reviews. And then all of a sudden it's free. And everybody's like, this is the greatest game in the world. They're acting like it's the second coming of Jesus all of a sudden. It's like, I can see where he's like, okay, if you guys really enjoyed this, like, where were you at launch? I mean, like, I can understand that feeling.
We needed it.
Even though I don't agree with him, I understand the feeling.
Exactly. I would not agree with how that interview went down, what was said, but I get the sentiment, and it has some merits.
Fee, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about this? You never played Days Gone, I'm guessing, because you don't. I don't think you have a PlayStation.
June 13th, 2016. That game was announced at E3.
Yeah.
And that day, I put my foot down and said, this is not going to be a good experience. I didn't like it. I thought it looked generic. It looked like every other freaking zombie game that was announced that freaking E3, because there was multiple. I think there was like 4 or 5.
Wow.
And so at that time, I'm like, you know what? This seems, and I'm no offense to Ben, it seemed generic to me. And so for me,
didn't it announce at one E3 looking some kind of way, and then the next year looked completely different?
2017. It came out looking a lot different. And then it was very odd. And so for me, I was never interested. Like, there's podcasts, like, if you want to go hunting for them, I said, this does not look like a good game. And then when it released, I heard some people were like, it almost became like a cult classic very quickly, where if you loved it, you loved it. And then if you didn't like it, you just didn't play it. It just didn't, because there's so many other zombie games. And then seeing this, we've seen in the past, especially over the past year, what fans can do by their excitement for games. And them saying like, hey, Days Gone isn't going to get a second game. You could have seen maybe not in the next year or so, they might be able to release a Days Gone 2 later on because of the hype that people might have. And like the excitement, and maybe people will start buying it again. However, that bridge that you had and potential, you burned it when you decided to go off on people. Because one, dude, not the play. Don't. Literally, you need to realize a lot of people who are playing your games are people who don't have the funding, especially during a global pandemic. You decide to like start snapping at people getting free games and discounted games. Get over yourself. I imagine you've done the same thing, dude. Like, I thought this was really disgusting for him. Like, I understand the testament. I understand why he's upset, but I think this was 100% not the play. And there's a reason why he doesn't have a job at that particular place now, because of how he acted. And not just in this particular interview, but in other actions that he's taken. I wasn't particularly thrilled when I saw what he said, because as a gamer who has gone through a significant amount of like not being able to get games I want to play, or have the ability to even buy new games, and for the longest time I played the same game for forever, that kind of snapping at the people who, God forbid, don't have the ability to buy your game at, like, in Canada, you're looking at like $80.
Now
if not
it's
90.
Now it's 100.
It's now 100. If I wanted to buy Days Gone 2 in an alternate dimension when you actually got a sequel, it's going to be $100. And if I want to get the Ultimate Edition, you're looking at 130. So that's a lot of money. And a lot of the people who really enjoy your content with everything you have to do right now.
Frank is now having
Frank.
he has a
No,
an envelope that says Tokyo.
I gotta teach you how to do virtual cameras so that way you could just put it on your camera.
I honestly, when I saw him post that, and I don't know, I think I was talking to Harv at the time, I was just like, that's not okay. That's really shitty. Like, I get you're mad, but don't take it out on the people who spent at least some money on your game. And just because it was on PS Plus, you still get money, dude. Like,
Yeah.
It's on
people,
PS
that
Plus
gives you access.
and that collection as well. It's on both
People,
of those.
it gets people who may not have been interested, such as myself. Maybe I decided to say, you know what, I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt. I didn't give it the benefit 6 years ago. I'm going to try it now.
No.
And it's
No,
coming out on
not
PC.
anymore.
It's coming on PC soon.
Well,
No.
no.
And then
I'm
to
sorry.
top it off, it's just like, as somebody who supported your game at launch, you fucking burned me because the game didn't fucking work. Like, I supported your game at launch. I bought it at launch, and it didn't work.
There's small indie games or games that like don't have a huge following that are getting sequels. I'm a huge fan of the XCOM series. Do you know how many XCOM games there are?
A lot.
Enough to continue. There are a lot. Yeah. There was one that was released last year. Did anyone know about it? Only me, probably, because I'm the only one who I know who I talk to play games. So there's a few people who play them as well, but there's things like that. There's just like, you had your community and now you've just spit in their face by doing something like that. And I hope you can sleep well at night.
You probably
So
gotta get a pension.
my thinking is probably like a lot different from your guys' thinking. Where I completely agree with Fee, where like he probably shouldn't have said that. And then what Sly said, the sentiment is there, but he just worded it terribly. And there's a reason why he's not at that company anymore. But my reasoning is the game itself, what they pitched for Days Gone 2 didn't look good. Like, that didn't sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch an open world, like I wish they would just pitch an open world game, a sequel instead of a shared world experience with other people where you have a co-op thing. Just give me an open world game. Just what you guys did before, just do that again.
Yeah.
And just make like refinements to that. So I think like maybe one of the reasons, like this is kind of what I think is like one of the reasons they probably canceled it is because they tried to do that to that game, and they're like, you guys don't have like one, you probably don't have the pedigree to do that, and that this is this game is an open world game where you guys have experience now in an open world game. Make a game like that instead of making something that's more online based. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like where like I played Days Gone. I thought it was good. It was decent, not great. Like you guys have all been saying, it's a generic game. To me, 1000% is a generic kind of game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they pitched State of Decay 3 technically.
Yeah, but like I don't think they like if you're making a sequel, make the same game, but make it make it better. But don't like then you're just swerving into a whole different nest of other things now at this point. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like maybe you should just do that with a new IP or a new kind of game, right? And I do honestly think that's one of the reasons why I got canceled is because Sony probably didn't think that they maybe just like they should have just stuck with the open world aspect of it than doing something that was like a shared world co-op kind of type thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I land with that.
And with that, I say Days Gone 2, it's game over.
Wow.
How the days gone by.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
Oof. Got him.
All right.
We're moving to our quick bits here.
Yeah, just like quick bits. Let's do some quickies.
So these are quickies. These are either updates or just news articles here that are not enough for a 10-15 minute discussion. Just some quick stuff. Discord ends acquisition talks with Microsoft. This is a report by Brendan Sinclair over at gamesindustry.biz. Apparently, the talks between Microsoft and Discord over an acquisition of the platform has reportedly been shelved. A lot of people are rejoicing, considering Discord is safe for now. What do you think about this really quick? Yeah.
Thank God. That's all I got.
As much as I would have liked maybe better servers, I do think Discord is a lot better as an independent than being shared by Microsoft itself.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on this?
I to be honest, part of me was like, was curious of what it would look like, especially if it did meaning no more of this Nitro bullshit, because I don't like it. I would rather just be supported and maybe included in my subscription, so I don't have to worry about that crap. But at the same time, all right, let's see what they'll go. However,
they got to make money, right? Discord's got to make money.
No, totally. But supposedly the route that they might be going is to be being open on the stock market, and that's kind of like another possibility that things should go bad. So either way, they're risking it for the biscuit. So good for them. I mean,
but the thing is, like, you're a growing company, you kind of have to go one route or the other at this point. It's either you go public or you get bought out by somebody else. That's really where you're at.
Fair enough. But 10 million was it 10 billion was what I was hearing? Like
something like that, yeah. Which is crazy. It's worth more than Bethesda.
That's what I was saying. And Star Wars combined, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So let's put that into our little perspective right there with Discord.
And that's pandemic expense
inflation.
Or inflation.
That's pandemic inflation.
Yeah.
Right there.
For sure.
All right, what's the next quickie thing? Frank, what do you got?
This next quickie comes from Kotaku's Brian Ashcraft. You don't want Resident Evil Village's tall vampire lady to step on your face. Listen, Brian, I do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah, don't tell me what I want, Brian. All right? I want what I want, and you want what you want, but don't tell me what.
Let me be gay. Thank you. Next.
I'm actually going to give this one to either Harv or Fee, whichever you guys want to take, because this is more for you guys.
Fee?
Hi. How's it going, guys? The Crown's Olivia Colman and Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke in talks to join Marvel's Secret Invasion. I'm really excited for this. If you're not familiar with Olivia Colman, she was in
Olivia Clarke.
Amelia Clarke.
Olivia Colman?
Amelia Clarke. Sorry, Amelia. Oh,
Olivia
no,
Colman?
never mind.
There's
never mind.
two of them.
Never
There's two
mind.
peoples.
I messed up. I read the
It's all
first
good.
name. That's
It's
my
all
bad.
good.
That one's on me. I'll take that.
I almost did the same thing too.
Yeah.
Olivia Colman was the second queen in the series The Crown, and she also was, I believe, in Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
She is an absolutely fabulous actress, and if she does end up in Secret Invasion, then I'm super looking forward to it. And if Emilia Clarke also joins, then that is a power duo that would be joining into the MCU universe. What's up?
Question: What's Secret Invasion?
So
It's basically the Skrulls.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know because there's some other stuff going on now. Once you finish Falcon and Winter Soldier, I won't spoil it. But yeah, it's another one of those big events, and it's going to involve those two actresses and some other people, which I'm very excited about. But yeah,
I just want to say, I just Googled Olivia Colman.
She's in a lot of stuff. If you,
Yeah.
But
I always said Hot Fuzz. Like, who is she in Hot Fuzz?
She's
makes sense now.
So great.
Makes
in
sense.
The movie.
So great. So good. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. She's absolutely fabulous. Also, if you haven't watched The Queen, whoo, that is.
I got through 2 episodes of it so far. I need to finish because I loved it. I just haven't gotten to it to finish it. Yeah.
Harv, you need to watch it.
And it's a British thing, a British drama. Let's go, right? Let's go.
Also,
Downton
they
Abbey,
mentioned
slide,
Canada
Downton Abbey. Let's go. They got the second movie coming out. They got the Christmas movie coming out soon for Downton Abbey.
My heart.
I'm really, really excited.
My little
for it.
gay heart. I'm
so
so
excited.
excited.
Anyways, I'm
And
excited.
that is, that
Yeah.
was a quick
Yeah.
news.
Yep, and we have one final actual article here. This article comes from IGN. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake reportedly coming from Port Studio Aspyr by Jordan Alleman. So a remake of the 2003 classic is reported by Jason Schreier to be in the works by Schreier by Studio Aspyr. Originally thought to be a straight port, Bloomberg reports that they are looking at the project to be more of a remake than port. I know some of us have some history with Knights of the Old Republic and BioWare. Are we excited that we're getting a remake of the classic, or would you rather have a proper damn sequel already?
Fucking remake it.
Give me new games.
Remake it as a new game.
Give me a new fucking game already.
No, remake it as a new game. Because make it part of the canon, like officially. You know, like everyone's like, oh, you're not a real Star Wars fan if you know who fucking Revan is. Well, first of all, fuck that guy, whoever that was, if you saw that trending on the internet. But yeah, why not? Fucking remake it, retell the story of Revan, make it part of the universe. You know, every piece of media now is part of this so-called fucking universe. Why not? Fuck it. Fuck it.
You look like you got thoughts. You look like
Me?
you got thoughts.
Yeah, do you?
No.
Look like
For
you think
me,
pretty hard,
it's
though.
like I love this game. It's a great game. Old Republic, I loved it, and I'm just like, if you guys make a remake of it, that's fine. If you guys make a whole different game that has this kind of essence to it, I'm more fine with the latter than I am with the former. But honestly, I'm okay with it. I love this game. This is a great game.
Yeah, that
I
game's
feel like
really
a lot of
good.
people need to experience this kind of game. But
Yeah.
I'd rather them create something new to bring out to the new audience that has the DNA of what this game has.
Mhm.
That is what I want more than anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even
just
I
give me a
think
new
James Gunn
story
said
in that
something.
Style, right?
Yeah, exactly. A new story in that style is perfect.
Well, at the same time, like this is now, I guess the High Republic era, right? Where there's these
I think that's
series.
been canceled.
No, there's books. They're out.
But whatever,
Yeah,
whatever
they're
it
out.
is,
Anyways, it would be
Whatever it
set in
is.
that timeline. So that's considered
yeah.
like the oldest republic so far.
Oh, I thought they were making like a series or something like that.
No, it's a series of books. So this is where theoretically this would be taking place. This would be new stories within that time frame. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you're going to remake the game, it would probably make sense to then, this is your chance to reincorporate all of this Revan stuff into it. Now, granted, you don't have to be playing Revan as you were in the original game. It could be revolving around this person in some other way. But this is a new way to tell a new story that still allows you to bring in that old canon. Very similar to how they do Thrawn in Rebels, right? There was the original trilogy that had the Thrawn trilogy, whatever it's called. So, but they ended up incorporating it in Rebels into a whole new story, which will now lead into future stories with Ahsoka Tano and her show. So yeah, I mean, this is your chance to put in all that lore that they're setting up in these like comic books and novels and really incorporating it into the world.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather prefer a brand new game, but I mean, if you can capture like what those fun, then by all means try it. I know James Gunn before this got announced, went on Twitter and announced that Knights of the Old Republic is the best game ever made.
Yeah, I
And
saw that
then
tweet.
people are like, "Would you make a movie for
He's like,
Disney?"
just go back and play it.
He's like, "Not all games need to be made into a movie to be
Yeah.
recognized. Go play it." I was like, you know what? That's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's why I go more with the latter than I do with the former. It's like make something new, but with a new story, but with like that DNA. Like, you're gonna piss people off. They're like, well, why don't you just make the old game? But it's like, old game's old, dude. Play the old game. I don't get the I don't get the sentiment. Yeah, I don't get the sentiment of like a lot of people talk about this with Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out.
Yeah.
Where people are like,
I know that's a different case though.
but like they're like, I can't believe like this happened and this happened. It's like if you want the old experience for Final Fantasy VII,
yeah,
it's there.
that I agree with you.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's
Final
available.
Fantasy
Play
VII
it.
is there.
Yeah.
It's on like all platforms that you could think of. It is there.
Yeah, well, like in that case with Final Fantasy, the remake and the original, they are two existing games that exist in their own way. When it comes to a remake like Resident Evil, you have the original PlayStation 1 game, and then you have the remake. I feel like those are two different entities, and it just depends on, you know, how you want to experience that story. I think a lot of people pretty much prefer the remake, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, tank controls, rip those, screw those,
right?
Get them out of here. We don't want any of that.
No, 100%. And I think that's just the way how this could be improved. It could be the Resident Evil remake of Old Republic, set in this new era that they've decided on. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, either way, I'll go. I love that game. Just give me a Mass Effect Star Wars game. That's all I want.
Right?
I just want a Mass Effect Star Wars game.
That's what Bounty Hunter Mass Effect Star Wars game.
You know, just give me what I want.
Honestly.
Give me what I want.
All right, for our do you want to say anything about this?
No.
Not at
Go
all.
I
for
didn't
it.
want to forget you again this week.